Woohoo! We're live. I think it might be time to change our artwork. I'm kind of bored of looking at it. Have to design us some new Wednesday morning artwork, I think.
All Bacon and eggs and the sun shining.
There we go. We find a tropical ghost picture.
Right.
Hey, everybody. Oh, we've already got Patrick waiting, Natalie, Melanie. Yay. So they were waiting on us. Patrick says he looks forward to our chats. Now, you were just saying right before we hit go live that you had a question come in to Ted's email and might be a good one to start with.
Right. Apparently, she got on Wednesday too late and we were just signing off, so she couldn't get her question answered. She wanted to know if a person could have a portal apparently on their body. No, not possible. Impossible. Because a portal allows earthbound spirits to come in and out, and obviously a spirit is not going to come in and out of your body. So no, a person cannot have a portal on their person at all.
Which I know sometimes, like, I'll hear in the community where maybe it's a wrong use, where they'll consider people psychopomps or whatever, like they're portals because they're crossing. So like they would say that you're one because you're crossing over. And I think maybe it's just a misuse of.
That is not the right definition.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Marlene's joining us. Hey, everybody. Hope you're staying warm. Let's see. Yeah. So we have a lot going on out there in outer space. Lots of energy.
We do. You know, I've talked about it for so long now that, you know, the new moon, the full moon, how it affects earthbound spirits. And if it's an eclipse, a solar or a lunar eclipse, it even makes them more active. It gives them more energy. Well, this month has got a whole bunch of stuff going on up in the universe. Let me tell you. Number one, between the 12/12 and 12/15, we have the Geminid meteor showers that are supposed to be like 150 every 5 minutes. So there's a lot of them. The best time to see them from our area is 2:00 in the morning. And if your area is dark, somebody in the city with street lights, you're never going to see them. But if you live in the country, you should have a really good show if you want to be up at 2:00 in the morning and standing outside in the cold. The other thing that's really unusual, and I don't know how much energy an earthbound spirit can get from this, but on the 21st of December, a couple days before and a couple days after that, Jupiter and Saturn are going to be so close together. They're going to be so bright in the sky. I mean, you will not need a telescope. They will be right there. And they haven't been this close since 1623, 800 years ago. And this particular thing of being together is called, it's known as the Christmas Star of Bethlehem. So this must have been happening apparently when Jesus was born on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. So that's interesting. And again, I don't know if they're going to get any more energy from that or not, but I think it's really a cool thing that's happening. And just so you know, 11/17 on the 14th is the new moon, which is next week, Monday, and it is a solar eclipse. So whatever you ask for or write down on the 14th, it should be really charged up good. So don't forget to write your law of abundance. And this would be an easy one, again, because it's not till our time zone at 11:17 a.m. So anytime after midnight, but before 11:17 a.m. on the 14th.
So make your checkout while you're drinking your coffee or tea in the morning.
That's right. Yep. You don't have to stay up till midnight and try to write it 2 seconds after, but this is an easier one to do, obviously. So
All right. Well, Natalie's got one of first questions today. Says, when a loved one passes and you ask them out loud to visit, can they hear you? And will they visit or just come around when they want to?
Okay. Anytime, any earthbound or any spirit that has crossed over, if you talk out loud, they can hear you. Even spirits that have crossed over cannot read your mind. So, yes. And when you're standing in front of a casket, you can talk to them. You have to talk out loud and they will hear you. And I think when they first die, there's a learning experience, and they have to go through steps or something. I've never been there that I remember. Oh, I've been there, I just don't remember. And so that's why sometimes people don't get a first dream of somebody that crossed over for about 6 months. If they have a lot to learn, it could be up to 2 years before they come in a dream. But ones that crossed over this time of year, they are around all the time. The holidays are here. Maybe we're not leaving the house, but they're coming in anyway. So they're going to be around. If it's your birthday, if it's their birthday, if it's an anniversary of their death, if it's your anniversary, they show up for all of those. The kids' baptisms, the kids' first communions, they come for all of that stuff. And days you can be washing the dishes, and all of a sudden, for no good reason, you start thinking about grandma. That's probably a day she's visiting. So sometimes you get this flash of, gee, I miss my grandma. Maybe she was there that day, and that's why you were thinking about her. So, but yeah, no, they can come. You can't call them. In other words, you can't just send out an SOS and say, Dad, come in my dreams tonight. But when they do, you will be able to talk to them.
Mm-hmm. So, James, how can someone improve their ability to be aware of or to sense ghost energy, etc.? Is there a way the average person can be better aware?
Okay. Go with your gut instincts. If you think something is around and you can feel the energy, you're probably right. But Melissa is the one that you should be talking to about this, because at the store, the Goddess Elite, she's got all kinds of classes for people to develop all kinds of things. So, and you have some of them live now, don't you? Or on doing your YouTube something?
Yeah, I mean, well, and like tonight, which is who I'm kind of messaging with at the same time, Alexa, like we will have a live tonight about the different forms of divination and new unique ways of doing it. But we also have things like the development circle. That's the first and third Tuesdays of the month. It's only $5. So it's like an hour and a half workshop that you're only paying $5 for.
Now, are they in the store for this, or is this online?
The development circle's still only on Zoom right now. But like we had divination meetup last night, that was in the store. So some of our like bigger classes are kind of on hold just because of holidays. And we usually start those back up come February when everybody's had a chance to recuperate from the holidays, financially, just putting up with people in general, rooms full of people. But and by then too, everybody's tired of being stuck at home in the snow. And hopefully by then COVID will be on its way, lessening. So yeah, we still have some stuff going on online, live and on Zoom.
So if they just go to your website, you have it on there on the classes and what times and where they are and all of that?
Yeah, on the events page on the website.
So look on that, and you'll find something. And it never hurts to read. I mean, read every book that you can find on the subject that you're interested in. And my own books, for instance, I wrote about stuff that works for me. That doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody. So the books that I used to read before I did this forever, I would read somebody's writing and I would throw out half of it and try to remember the other half, because not everything is going to work for everybody. So, just just look into what you want to do. Pick one or two things. Don't try to be good at everything, because that'll be your biggest mistake. Just pick one or two things that you're really interested in.
Right. And you'll start noticing things that you have a natural ability that it's easier than something else too. So Cindy wants to know, how do ghosts cause respiratory problems?
Earthbound spirits do not eat or sleep. They need human energy to keep going. And so if they're around you all the time, you're low in energy, you feel tired all the time. You can sleep 8 hours straight, you still wake up tired. And eventually it's going to affect your health. Kids under the age of 10, 12, ear, nose, throat, upper respiratory problems, 2 rounds of antibiotics. That's the way it affects kids. But adults, the same way. And if anybody is on prescriptions, medicine prescriptions, your prescriptions are not working like they should be if you have earthbound spirits in the house. If you take something and you've been taking it for a while and all of a sudden the doctor says, gee, these aren't working anymore, we're going to have to increase the dose. Or, you must have got used to these, we're going to change the pill. That could be because you have an earthbound spirit in the house.
Oh, Lori's joining us. Hi, Lori. Let's see. Patrick asks that as he's listening to your audiobook, you mentioned that when ghosts speak to you in other languages, you can understand them. He was just wondering if you knew how that works.
I do not know how that works. It is one of those things that when I had when I was living down in Wayne County, Worcester, and I had come up to do 3 different houses. It was in February. I had one of my foster babies with me. She was like 4 months old, and went to 3 houses, 3 people, 3 different houses. Nobody was having a good day that day. Everybody was cranky. There were no ghosts in their houses. And one wanted me to find her a ghost, which I don't know how to call ghosts. And the other one is going to argue with me that there were ghosts in the house. And the last one, oh, never mind about that one. So driving back down to Wayne County, I get caught in a snowstorm. And it took me forever to get home. 71 was just one sheet of ice. It was terrible. So I finally got home and I was so aggravated. And I remember going to bed that night and I said my prayers and I pulled the covers up and I said, oh, and by the way, God, if you want me to keep on doing this, you better come up with plan B, because plan A isn't working. It was right after that when I talked to somebody on the phone, I could see inside their house. And when somebody asks me, can I talk to their grandfather or their grandmother, but they don't speak any English, I used to say no, because I'm thinking, I don't speak French or I don't speak German. How would I understand these people? It would be more frustrating for the people having me there. I mean, I guess if they could hear their loved one asking a question, they could shake their head yes or no, but I couldn't understand what they were saying. Well, plan B went into effect for that too, because the first time that I didn't know that this lady didn't speak English, it was a woman's mother. And so we got all kinds of questions answered, and I love yous, and I made the white light, and she walked into it. And this woman is writing me out my check. And she goes, oh my gosh, how lucky am I that you speak Ukrainian? And I'm looking over my shoulder thinking, who is she talking to? And I said, what are you talking about? She says, my mother didn't speak a word of English. So it was at that point that I realized that I can understand them if they speak in their language. It's God's plan B. That's all I can say. I don't know how or why. The crazy part is, if they know I'm American, they try speaking to me in horrible English instead of their own language. I can't understand a word they say because they mess it up so bad. It's like, no, speak in your own language. I'll understand it. So, but why it works, some days I have more questions than answers. I don't know.
So our next question, Clan Duncan ice cream. Kind of makes me want some ice cream. How many times should you cleanse bad energy?
You should only have to cleanse it one time if you're doing protection after the cleanse. If you're not doing anything to protect the person that you took negative energy off or the property that you took negative energy off, then I guess you have to do it every time it feels, not good to you, or it feels depressed, or you're sad, or. But if you have it on you and it was taken off, if you wear a quince seed, that'll never happen to you again. The same thing with the property. If you cleanse a property, and there's no earthbound spirits in it, the seeds go up over the doors and you never have to do that again. So I don't know how often you think you have negative energy on you or the property.
I think maybe the only difference might be, and I'm assuming because they've got a business name, am I having a business that when you have a space where you're inviting the public to come in, you may have to cleanse more often, just because not for the cursing stuff, but more of like their heavy, you know.
Yeah, because everybody has stuff around them,
Yeah.
and they leave a little dust trail wherever they walk. But
Yeah.
like, I do so many. Well, Melissa, nobody bad can do anything in your store. No ghost can come in your store. Your store is protected. I mean,
Right.
if any of your clients come in and they want to buy something and they have something attached to them, it's waiting out in the car. It's not in the
Right.
store. So anybody that has a bit, I think that's probably why I do so many businesses. And
Mm-hmm.
don't forget, if it was ice cream there, how bad is, I don't know, how bad is the competition with other ice cream stores where somebody's always wishing you not such good luck.
Right. Right. Um, let's see. Heather says hello. Oh, here we go. There's Lori. Says she can't remember her dreams like most can. And it's been going on for years. And how can she remember them? And this is easy.
Very easy. There's an herb called mugwort, Mugwort. I sell it in dream bags on my website. Melissa, you have mugwort in the store.
Mm-hmm.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, currently
And
out, but it's coming back
oh,
in.
but normally you have it. Okay. All you do, if you get my dream bag, all you have to do is stick it between your pillowcase and your pillow, and in about 3 weeks, you'll start remembering your dream. If you buy it loose, put a couple tablespoons like in a hanky and pull the four corners up and put a rubber band around it, stick it between your pillowcase and your pillow, and you will remember your dreams. But like I said, it takes about 3 weeks for that to work. My dream bags also have other properties in them. People that have insomnia said that, oh my gosh, once they started using it, they slept like a ton of bricks. There's also a quince seed in my dream bags, because if you have earthbound spirits in your house and they're in your bedroom at night when you're sleeping, beside being an energy drain on you, you are going to have some wackadoodle dreams. Loud, colorful. I mean, like a war going on. That's how loud these dreams can be. And so, at least with the seed in the dream bag and it's under your pillow, they have to stay 3.5, 4 feet away from you. So it's an all round, you just sleep better all the way around, and then you'll start remembering your dreams.
And they can order them from your website.
They can. They can.
Which will
And
put
with Christmas coming, if you're going to order anything, order it by the 17th of December. This post office is crazy right now. So if you wanted something before Christmas, make sure you order it by the 17th. And because it's Christmas, there's no shipping over $3.99 for December. So, plus I'll be in the store on the 19th. So if you're in this area, just come in the store and get one. Save yourself all the shipping and everything, and just come in and pick one up. I'll have them there.
All right. So Melanie wants to know how to keep earthbound spirits from bothering her puppy.
Oh man, I hate when they bother kids or animals. It makes me nuts. Um, the one thing that you can do, and it's the only thing that I know that would work for 100%, is make sure your house is cleared and protected so that there's no ghosts in the house to bother the puppy, or get one of the Quincy charms, one of the ones that look there's one that's very solid looking. Get it and attach it to the puppy's collar like you do the rabies tag or their identification tag. That way the puppy's protected when it goes outside also. But those are the only two ways that I would know how to protect a puppy.
Let's see. So, question on do quin seeds keep negative energy off of you or just keep ghosts away?
They definitely keep earthbound spirits 3.5, 4 feet away from you. If you have negative energy on you, and keep this in mind, negative energy attracts negative energy, just like positive energy attracts positive energy. So if you've got a curse on you and you wear one of the charms, the curse isn't going to get any worse. It will not take it off, but it will not get any worse. You're listening to the audio of the book, When Ghosts Speak, do the little ceremony, have the negative energy taken off of you if you think that's what it is, and then wear the charm. And nobody can ever do that to you again as long as you have a charm on you. I know I do a lot of the ball players in Cleveland, all the teams. I mean, everybody. And I could not figure out how to keep a quincy on them when they played ball. You know, basketball, football, baseball. There's not exactly pockets in these things. And so I thought I figured out a way to do it, and that didn't work. So I finally, I've got a few dentists that will drill. If you have a tooth that has to be replaced, a filling, or you have a cavity that has to be filled, they'll put your seed in your tooth. You never have to worry about it after that. So now I have to admit, some of the players that got seeds over the years don't play for us anymore, but that's okay. We're not going to rip your tooth out before you leave.
Right. Give us that back before you leave.
That's right. Nah, you can keep it. No.
Let's see. So Chrissy wants to know, for a 3,000 square foot house, how many sage sticks do I need? And why do spirits line up to go into a mirror? I don't know.
So, Chrissy, I still can't get, you haven't had a friend call me yet. I wish you would do that. But you know, if you're doing it correct, and you have to do inside the closets, in every crawl space, in the attic, if you do everything correct, depending on what size smudge stick you get, some of them are, you know, this big and others are a nice size. So I guess I would say buy enough for the first time so that you don't run out, because you don't want to get 3/4 of the way and run out of a smudge because you just wasted your money and your time. So the first time you buy them, buy enough of them, because you're going to be doing it every 2 weeks. So you're going to need them. So you can't buy too many of them. And then you'll know after you do it the first time how many you're going to need from that point on.
Yeah.
I don't know. The only thing that I could figure out with these ghosts walking into a mirror, that's very unusual. The only thing I could figure out, if there's maybe a portal in the mirror, but they wouldn't be lining up to walk into it. It would be a ghost, not 2 ghosts or 3 or a line of them. So no, you may have a portal in a mirror, and you can, you're catching the glimpse of one going in and out of the mirror, but no, they do not line up to go into a mirror. Absolutely not. Mm-mm.
Let's see. So there's been a really long one. It's been multiple pieces. So I'm only going to show the last part. And Lornell joined us a month or so ago, and her father has since passed. And in speaking with these family members, ever since he's passed, they're having Christmas trees falling down, bulbs going on and off, doors opening. And all of this has started after her father passed. And so her question was, despite these family members being not only in different states, in different countries, could it possibly be him trying to get attention or to say, hey, I'm here?
Well, you don't say how long ago, unless you said it in the previous part, how long your father has been dead. The first thing that I would try to figure out is, has anybody had a dream of him yet? And that would mean that he's in the light and it is not him doing this. I mean, did he hate Christmas when he was alive? Or does he think he hasn't been dead long enough for anybody to celebrate? I mean, it could be all kinds of reasons if it's him doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's a house where there's grandchildren, would your father do this? I mean, think about it. I know it's like a coincidence that it's happening after he's dead, but I would have to question. And I have to tell you, on the YouTube that I do on Wednesdays, we are going to be doing a bunch of stories for a couple of weeks. People have been sending in letters about problems that they've had over holidays with ghosts and knocking down trees and messing with the lights and making the train go around and around and around in the middle of the night. I mean, they can absolutely do this. So this is, it's interesting that you bring this up with the Christmas stuff that I'm going to be doing on YouTube. But I would seriously doubt that it's your father. I mean, he would have to been a pretty cranky old man to do this to relatives or to friends. And I don't know.
All right. Mike just says, hey, we rock. Hello. Let's see. Oh, they all jumped again. A bunch of questions just came in, so everything shifted. How soon can you write your law of abundance? That it's not too soon. And that's the whole before or after midnight, before it peaks.
Right. It has to be written on the date of the new moon, which the next one is Monday the 14th. It can't be written before midnight. Like 13th is at 11:59 p.m. It goes to midnight, and then the second after that, it's the 14th. Anytime after the midnight on the 14th, but before 11:17 a.m. And again, it's January's, and I meant to look and I forgot, but I believe January, law of abundance, the new moon is a couple of minutes after midnight for our area's time, Eastern Standard Time, which means you have to write it after midnight, but before 2 minutes after, which is going to be difficult. You either set a clock and wake up, or you sit there and hope you don't fall asleep if it's you can do it. So that one's going to be a little difficult to do. It can be done, but it'll be hard. But the one on Monday is a piece of cake. That's easy.
Right. Because we just had one that was kind of like late.
We didn't have one, but that one was like 12 or 15 minutes after midnight. At least you had more than 2 minutes.
Right.
Yeah,
your
right.
oh crap minute, and then I better
Right.
hurry up and write it and get it done before
Right.
it's too late.
And the other time zones, that's not going to be their problem. It's just our time zone that has that problem.
Let's see. Colleen says, I believe I have several spirits in my home, and one is my son. Is it wrong to want him to be there?
Well, if he is earthbound, I do not think it's a good idea. He can't go ahead spiritually, physically, mentally. He's stuck. He is literally stuck. Oh gosh, wait 1 second. Ted, do you turn off the stove? And I should have done that before I started talking. And so if he's crossed over, he can be there as much as he wants, and you will sense him. So I guess you have to determine if he is earthbound or if he is crossed over. And maybe what you should do is, call and leave a message or come on Zoom and let's see if he's there.
There we go. Which the next one that we have room for is in January.
Yeah, we're all filled for the rest of this month.
Yeah. So don't wait too long on January, because that one has already, got
There.
people filling in for it. So now Cindy, she's from Barbados and was just wondering if there might be any truth to some of these superstitions. So like one that she asked is, my parents asked me when I get home after 12 a.m. to place my shoes facing the door so negative energy can't step into my shoes behind me and walk up the stairs backwards.
Maybe that has something to do with feng shui, which I don't know enough about. Every nationality, every country, every little town in every country has some kind of little superstition, or they're superstitious about something. And this sounds like maybe this might be what it is. At least you live in a beautiful place. But I don't really know. I can't tell you because I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, I've not heard of it, but it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's almost what's that little saying, like there's always some sort of truth or something happened to set something like that in motion.
Any kind of folklore, or from vampires down to leprechauns, there is some truth to all of the folklore. I mean, it's like, unfortunately, the telephone game. You tell somebody, by the time it gets to the sixth person, it doesn't sound anything like the first person said it. And I think this is what happens to these things too. What was done 50, 60, 150 years ago has changed over the years. And so this is what it is now. So there's probably some truth to that, but who knows how much.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Lori. Marianne will be in the store on the 19th. As of right now, provided nothing changes with state, DeWine, yada yada, COVID.
Before I'll be there. What do they say? God willing, and the creek don't rise. So
And there is a little bitty creek behind the store, so
don't tell me that.
careful on that. There's a little geocache hidden back there too. Let's see. Oh, I think we finally caught up on some of the questions. Do I need to download the Zoom app? So for anybody interested in the Zoom, when you sign up in your confirmation email, you get a link. If you've never used Zoom before, you can use it on laptop, phone, tablets, pretty much anything. Zoom itself is free. The cost to join for Marianne's session is the $20. Now, again, if you've never used it, your computer or laptop will say, hey, we need to open up this little app to download. And that's the little background programming that's going to run the phone, or the camera and microphone on your phone or computer. So you will have to download that to be able to participate. You don't have to have your camera on the whole time, only when you're, talking with Marianne, just so she can be able to see into the house and see what's going on. So she'll be able to talk about if you have earthbound spirits, if you have a portal, or if you have negative energy. Everybody gets to ask a couple questions. Um, and only 30 people get to join in. So it's not a free for all, kind of like what this is. Not everybody's going to hear or see it. It's not recorded to be played later, so it's not going to show up on YouTube. Juliana, you're asking us to answer your questions, and as I'm reading it, I'm not quite sure what you're asking. There's Marian, I'll put it up and see if you want to try. Good morning, Am. Read another night about spirits who stacking up. I'm not sure what your question is, which is why we haven't read it out. So if you can maybe reword that.
The only thing that I can figure out is that it means, like I said before, if there's earthbound spirits in your bedroom when you're sleeping, you will have a problem falling asleep, or they will wake you up, or if you do fall asleep, you'll have crazy, vivid, loud, bright dreams that are disturbing. So I hope that's what you're asking.
Mm-hmm. Tina, how long does the mugwort? How long do the mugwort bags last?
They last as long as you keep them there, and because you're putting them between your pillowcase and your pillow, a lot of times they accidentally end up in the washer and the dryer. They still work, even if they've been washed and dried. So there's been a couple of times where the pet dogs have chewed them open, and well, that takes care of the bag. Then I mean, I can't, nothing with your dog chewing it, and there's nothing in there that's going to hurt your dog. Mugwort may make them a little high for a couple of hours, but it's not going to, hurt them. But keep this in mind: if you don't want it right in your pillowcase, if you lift up your sheet and stick it under the sheet on the mattress pad so that your pillows are on top of it, it has to be under your head. And there could be 4 pillows on top of it, but it has to be under your head. So you have less time of accidentally throwing it in the washer or the dryer, or the dog or the cat getting it. So, but you can absolutely, but they never wear out. They just keep on working. It's like the quincy. The quincy never dies. It just, even if it cracks or breaks, it still works.
So found Cindy's first question, and I'll show the second part because it cuts off. Story once of a girl being possessed by a jinn, never affected her but in her adult life, when she attempts to be intimate with her husband, it shows its face. And what is this? Now, I know you can do some work with the fairies, which I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure fairy and jinn are different enough. I don't know if you've heard such a thing.
Well, again, they're cute and they're little and they're sparkly. And I mean, not a troll. A troll is ugly. But the cute little ones, just because they're cute and little doesn't mean that that they're not naughty. And that is something that could be possible. What television show did somebody call somebody a jinn? It's an old television show. Of course, Ted would know. I Dream of Jeannie. Jeannie had cousins that were jinns. The girl that lived in Eden, Barbara Eden, that lived in the bottle. So maybe they're referring to a jinn that's more like a genie. And I don't think I know too much about them, but you know what? And that would make more sense than a fairy or a troll or something, because they're the same size as an adult. I don't know. Maybe the jinn likes her and he's trying to make her not like her husband. I mean, try the easiest answer first. Sometimes it's the right one.
Right. Let's see. So when it comes to your sea salt soap, does it just remove negative energy, or can it also like detach spirit?
Because it has sea salt in it, earthbound spirits do not like sea salt, and it is good for that. Not as good as the charm to keep a ghost away. But yes, the sea, and because it's just not sea salt, it's blessed sea salt, which makes it even a little stronger, because you can buy sea salt soap anywhere, but not blessed. And that makes the difference. So yeah, as a matter of fact, the store just got another order. So I don't know what this lady's doing with these bars, but she just got another 3 of them. She loves them. She says that her skin feels so good after. So that's good. I'm
Hey,
glad they're working.
added benefit too.
That's right.
So Amy is wondering, really been drawn to the Native American culture for as long as she can remember. Is this past life related or spirit guide related?
It could be either, I would think. I think if you have that question, then you should look into being regressed and see if you were Native American in a past life. Um, Spirit guide, I do not give that too much credibility. I do not think that Native American Indians are spirit guides. I know a lot of people are going to be upset about that, but they've got enough to do. They protect Mother Earth. I totally, now maybe they are guides to their own people, but I just don't. There's that some kind of psychic medium that lives in England that says she has an American Native Indian chief that's her spirit guide. Yeah, I don't think so. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
I've always laughed how everybody's got the Native American chief spirit guide, and I'm like,
Regular people are good too. They can be guides. They don't have to be Native American.
right. Well, and then to really kind of like blow that open, there are some who believe that your spirit guides really are just extensions of your higher consciousness, and whatever they have to show or whatever it has to show to get your attention, to pay attention to the message.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So, if you think that the most wisest people are Native American, well, then that's what you're going to see. Yeah.
Sure. I'll buy that.
So
That's good. Yeah.
mental games with yourself. Have fun.
That's right. That's right. Just like spirit guides are not human people that died and are your guides. Spirit guides are angels. They're not. They're not people that became. I mean, you can have your relatives around you, but they're not your guides. You born guides come to you from the minute you're born till the day you die. And so they're not your relatives. They are their own entity.
Right. Let's see. Okay, so Juliana's got some clarity here. I have nightmares and don't know what is happening in them, but I start screaming, and my husband woke me up. She was all sweaty, and that has not happened for at least 25 years. So, some really bad nightmares and night terrors that may not necessarily just be earthbound.
No, not at all. Not at all. And keep this in mind, earthbound spirits cannot get into a dream. You could have 5 earthbound spirits running around your house and playing pinochle every night at the dining room table, but they are not in your dreams. They do not get in your dreams. So again, they can be in your bedroom where you have bizarre dreams, but they do not get in your dreams.
All right. So, how far out in each direction do quinseeds work? If there are seeds on the windows and doors, can they go through a wall? A ghost, that is.
Okay. The quince seed is good for 3.5, 4 feet. And they do not get put on windows. They only get put on doors that go directly to the outside after a house has been cleared or there are no earthbound spirits in it. And like for people that have an attached garage, it's not the door that goes to the garage, because that's not an outside door. It's the actual garage doors that get the seed. And the door doesn't have to be open, but an earthbound spirit still uses the doorway. They didn't walk through walls when they were alive, and they're creatures of habit. They're going to go through a doorway. Again, the door does not have to be open, so that would tell me that, yeah, sure, they could go through a wall too if they wanted to. I have never seen a ghost go through a wall, ever. I have seen them walk through doors when the doors were closed, wooden doors, storm doors, but it's still the doorway. The only exception, and there's always an exception, if a college student is in a dorm and they're on the first, second, or third floor, I do give them seeds for their windows, because if you're a college student and you're living in a dorm and you live on the first, second, or the third floor, you use your window as a doorway.
Right.
So I hate to say it, not so much the third floor, but for sure the first and the second. So that's why I go ahead and get protection for those windows, but that's the only exception.
Oh, right. Let's see. So Gina wants to know how you learned about the law of abundance. Was this your original idea, or did your grandma teach it to you?
I have no idea where that came from. I learned about it when I was a teenager. I read about it someplace, saw somebody talking about it. I have no idea where that originated, but it's universal law. I mean, I don't even know if there's a book on universal law that tells everything about, because I mean, universal law is the universe's law. And that's where this energy is going to, the universe, and that's who's going to turn around and give it back to you. So I do not know where that came from. I really don't.
So we've talked about this a couple other times. When a medium says your grandmother is coming through in a reading, does that mean she is earthbound? Not necessarily.
No. It depends. Is the medium seeing only earthbound spirits, or is the medium only using spirits that have crossed over? Mm-hmm. Which you would have to figure that out. I don't know. Seriously, if it was your grandmother, or if she's saying it's your grandmother, then I would ask a question that there would be no way that anybody would know except you and your grandmother, and see what kind of answer she comes up with. If she gives you the right answer, then she's probably talking to your grandmother.
Right. In most mediums, at least through our store, mediums are talking to those that have crossed over. Not
they have to in your store if they're doing readings in your store, because no earthbound spirits can get in. So know yours are all good.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you may want to ask the medium, and hopefully they know which are they dealing with. It's not.
There's a lady that lives in Lorain County, and she doesn't work at the store. She has her own little business, and she talks to her angels, and her angels can give her information about your relatives that have died and crossed over. So she is definitely giving you information about somebody that is in crossed over is heaven to me. So from heaven. But she is not coming up with this on her own. Her angel, her spirit guides are talking to them that way, and that's how she gets the information. But every medium, every psychic is different. Everybody does what works best for them.
Mm-hmm. Another question from Cindy in Barbados. She has a friend who sees people's faces that shift into something negative. She wonders what this is and whether it's an obvious sign to stay away from those people.
So I'm assuming she's talking about live people, that their faces change. The only thing that I would think that could possibly be is that if they have a ghost attached to them, an earthbound spirit, that if that spirit gets in the front of their face, that somebody is seeing the energy that that spirit is projecting, that that's what they're seeing. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to stay away from them, but that would tell me that they probably have earthbound spirits around them.
Mm-hmm. And, and if that's what's happening, then of course that negative look is going to make your friend get a little uncomfortable, which is energy then that earthbound is going to be feasting on.
Change the look of the face and everything, of course.
Mm-hmm. What is it? The transfiguration, which happens in some of the physical mediumships. Let's see, not necessarily a reptilian shapeshifter. We don't want to automatically jump into that.
No, let's pass on that one.
Let's see. So Patrick wants to know, other than you and your daughter, were there anybody else in your family that, have your ability to see earthbound spirits?
I have three younger sisters. Two of them have really good gut instincts. The third sister just believes I could sell snow to an Eskimo, doesn't believe any of this, no how, no way, which is fine. That's her choice. And, but, and our oldest daughter cannot do this. She's very good though with her dreams, and she gets very cognitive dreams. But that's pretty much. I know that my one niece, when she was young, could see them, but that's children. All children, when they're young, can see them. So, but no, not anybody to the extent that Tara or I can do this. No.
Oh, this is a good question. Do you know if your show, The Ghost Whisperer, was aired in Italy? If so, did your relatives who harvest the quinces enjoy watching it, and did they know that that was your show?
Yes, yes, yes. Except that they would call me up too with the same two big questions. Why are her tatas hanging out every Friday night with her wardrobe? She's not modest. And why doesn't Melissa, which was her name on the show, Jennifer Love Hewitt's name on the show, make the white light and watch them walk in like you can do? And because the writers decided not to do that. So that was what upset them. But the quinceads are never mentioned on the show. In 5 years, they never mentioned quinceads one time.
Did they
They
mention?
showed When Ghosts Speak. They showed the book a couple of times. But they never talked about the quinceads. Never in 5 years. I think that would probably because the station or ABC, CBS, whoever it was, probably didn't have rights to the quinceads. That's probably why they were never mentioned.
Gotcha.
That would be my guess.
They couldn't make money off of it.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Why help the public if we can't make money with it?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, let's see. So we're almost, it's 10:54, so we're almost done. So one of the last questions here. What are your thoughts on souls being recycled or like reincarnated, groups of souls being linked together through different lives?
I believe in that 100%. If you've ever been regressed, it's amazing who you come back with. You always come back with your same circle of friends. Same mother-in-laws, father-in-laws, brothers, sisters, friends. Some of your really good friends this life were sisters or brothers in a last life. You never come back. I mean, if you're a woman this life, you may come back as a man in your next life. And I think you stay in that same group until you get it right with each one in that group. So say there's 30 people in your pod. You're going to keep coming back to. You have a good relationship with all 30 of those people. I believe I would call that karma.
Let's see. Well, the quinceads, we've kind of covered this a little earlier. They last pretty much forever.
Forever. They can be popped, cracked, exploded, imploded. The ones that law enforcement use that they have behind their badges, they look like they're squashed to almost nothing, and they still work 100%. So the seeds, I mean, you could lose the seed, obviously, but as long as there's a piece of it there, it still works. My charms have such a tiny little piece of the quince seed in them, and it works 100%. So they just keep on working.
Do I know anybody who does regressions online? Actually, I have Maria Cerna and Dana Chasen who can do regressions and can do them over Zoom if needed, if you're out of the area and can't make it in, or just wanting to stay home and safe a little while longer. So actually, Maria is actually going to be at the store today. That if you're local and you want to pop in and meet her, you can. Hi, Rachel. She's coming in with us. We're almost done, unfortunately. So, whoops, where'd you go, Paula? Paula says, I was sleeping and woke up and saw a man in the air laying down above my nightstand and watching me. I reached to touch him, and all I felt was my nightstand. I asked him if he was real, and his reply was, I'm here. She was wondering,
that could have absolutely. And again, I would have no way of knowing if that was an earthbound spirit or one that crossed over, because just because I can't see ones that crossed over doesn't mean other people can't. John Edwards sees ones that have crossed over. James Van Prague sees ones that have crossed over. They don't see what I see. Well, wait, I guess James does now. But John Edwards, they see ones that crossed over. I cannot see them. They see the nice ones. The ones they see don't cause any problems. It's the earthbound ones that cause the problems.
Let's see. Yeah, so Patrick, Maria Cerna, and Dana, if you go to the website, goddesselite.com, and click on the Reader Healer page, you'll see not only their pictures, but how you can book with them. But let's see, it's almost 11, so almost time to wrap up another weekly Wednesday morning ghost chat with snow on the ground and lots of stuff coming up in the sky.
Starting to melt a little bit. Spritzing a little bit too out there, but it seems like I think we're supposed to go to 50 by the weekend, so it should melt anything that's left out there.
I'll take 50.
Yeah, me too.
So if anybody wanted to go to Marianne's website, this is where you can order quince seeds, the dream pillows, the sea salts, the soap. We're kind of like on that deadline for shipping in time for Christmas with the post office, right? We're kind of like
17th would be that would be Friday the 17th. That would be the last day to place an order that should get to wherever you want it by Christmas. I got to tell you, I wouldn't wait till the last minute. I mean, Ted's been taking stuff from the store to the post office, and he's waited in line over an hour. A lot of people are taking stuff in. So, try not to wait till the last minute, or come to the store and pick it up yourself on the 19th. I'll be there if you're in the neighborhood. Be a lot easier. Yeah. And you've got all the books there now in stock, right, Melissa?
I think the As a Life So Dead might be out, and I'm hoping, I put the order in, but everything's just running so far behind. But we do have
one of the fiction you were out of too.
Yeah. So normally my book distributor, who, if I put an order in on Monday, I'll have it by Wednesday. Now it's like a couple weeks out and running behind. And if you wanted to join Marianne for January's Zoom session, here's the address. You can also find it on our website on the list of events. So both Decembers are full. So we're looking into January, and that one's already got people signing up. So don't wait too long on that one, because we're probably going to do what, like 2 a month, right?
The way it's looking, we will fill one first because then it gets wonky, but we'll fill one, and if we have to open up a second one, we will. But that would be it. No more than 2 a month. I think that's where we'll sort of stick at.
Yeah.
There's other things that you're busy with the store with other stuff too, so that's good.
Yeah. Well, and it just makes sure that it's available for everybody without being overly, complicated for everyone involved. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll be back next Wednesday at 10 a.m.
Yep. Enjoy the rest of your week, and don't forget your law of abundance on Monday.
That's right. That's always important. I do.
Betcha.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.